Welcome to the Overflow Podcast, the podcast for serious-minded young adults seeking to deepen their faith and make a meaningful impact in their communities, workplaces, and local churches. Join us as we explore how faith meets action.
All right. Well, welcome everyone to the Overflow Podcast. Here we are today. How's it going, guys?
Fantastic.
Pretty good.
Yeah, good. All right. Well, we'll be talking about Erin today.
Oh.
Erin's life.
Aaron.
Jeff's favorite nickname. It's not even how it's spelled.
Nope.
But yeah, we'll be diving into a little bit more about who Erin is and what has brought her to this point in life.
All right.
So, Erin, let's start off with where are you from, actually? Where are you actually from?
I am born and raised in Rhode Island.
Okay.
A little interesting fact about me, I was born at home, right outside the bathroom in the hallway.
Oh, wow.
In my parents' house.
They didn't make it to the bed even. Like,
Nope. I was like, well,
That's hilarious.
I'm ready. Yeah.
So, did you always live in Rhode Island, though?
Yes.
Have you moved anywhere?
Nope.
No.
I lived in the same, so I lived in the same house until I was 20, I forget, in my 20s. And then I
Okay.
moved to Block Island for 2 years, which is still part of Rhode Island. And then
Okay,
I moved it back to Rhode Island, the mainland.
How was Block Island?
It was very nice. It's very busy in the summertime.
How do you
Nice
feel
and
about the windmills that they installed out there?
So the windmills do not bother me.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they're huge. You can see them from pretty much anywhere on the
Yeah.
island,
Oh,
but
wow.
no adverse effects here.
Yeah, I think I went out there one time and I heard some guy like griping
Some people
about
don't like them. I'm not really sure.
I've
why.
actually never been to Block Island. I should
well.
probably go sometime.
Yeah, we should go.
Yeah. Well, so Erin, you've been here, living in Rhode Island. Well, not here, I guess, but in Rhode Island all your life.
Mm-hmm.
What have you been? What have you been working at? You know, what's the job life?
So I've been working in banking for just about 10 years.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah,
It's a
it'll be
10-year anniversary.
on
Wow.
May 19th.
Do you get
Oh,
a
wow.
plaque? May 19th? That's coming up.
Yeah, it is.
Fantastic.
Do you get
Yeah,
a plaque?
same with-
Do they
I
give
don't
you a
get-
plaque?
I don't think I get anything for this one.
Come on, son.
I know they're not very. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. I work as what's called a flex banker. So I like open accounts.
Like
I
you work
do-
out a lot? Like
Yes,
Okay.
that's literally what it is. And I open accounts. I do loans. I also do teller work. So I cash checks and all
Wow.
that fun
You're
stuff.
just everywhere. You're the jack
Pretty-
of all trades
pretty much
for banking.
For banking.
Have you ever
Yeah.
been robbed?
I have not.
Oh, that's
I have.
unfortunate.
I have had someone arrested.
Oh.
Well, I didn't have them arrested, but we had like
But you
some
stalled
fraud
them,
stuff,
right?
and I stalled them.
That's
yeah,
right.
Wow.
very exciting.
She
That
is a
is-
proponent of justice.
Yes,
She is
come get them.
the Batman banker. I don't know. That might have been a
The
stretch.
Batwoman
Oh,
banker.
fair enough.
There is a
that's
Batwoman.
on me. That's on me.
Well, tell us a little bit about your family. You said you've lived here, so obviously you've been living near-ish to your family, unless
Yeah.
they moved away. Did they
Nope.
move away?
Oh, well, one of my sisters moved to Australia for a couple of years and taught there, but she's back now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but I have I have 7 sisters and 2 brothers, so
That's 9.
10.
10.
Jeffrey.
I'm the 10.
7 and 2 is 9.
Yeah,
about
I have
siblings? She
9
has 9
siblings. Yes,
siblings,
yes, yes.
Nice.
And 2 parents.
Oh, fair enough.
That's important.
yeah, that is important.
Math.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So
Is there,
thank you.
we were talking through questions earlier, and we were talking about things that make us smile or fond memories. Do you have any fond memories from your earlier childhood?
I mean, not really like a specific memory.
Yeah.
But it does make me laugh, and like just thinking about it makes you smile. Every time my dad tries to tell a funny story, and usually it's not that funny. But he thinks it's
Hopefully
so.
he's not listening.
He thinks it's so funny. No, we tell him.
Oh,
Don't
okay.
worry.
Yeah.
He thinks it's so funny that he can't get it out. So a 5-minute story takes 25 minutes, and he's just dying laughing. So that always makes me laugh. He still does it to this day. So
That's always good.
yeah.
Well, that's cool. Thanks for letting us in.
Oh yeah.
So
My pleasure.
moving on to the better questions, obviously the fun stuff. We ask,
away.
I think we're asking this to everyone, and each one of these get to know you. But if you won the lottery and can't be serious, super serious answers, what would you do? What would you do with the money? The
What do I do
cha-ching.
with the money?
I mean, you work with it all the time.
I do, but when you work with it, it's just paper. It's not real money.
Yeah, that's fair.
Something fun. I don't know. I mean, maybe go on like a crazy vacation or something.
Ooh, crazy vacation.
Any like specific destination?
I don't know. I didn't used to think I want to go somewhere warm because I'm not really a summer person. Maybe like Hawaii or something
Go
like.
spelunking.
Or I could go to Alaska because
That's true.
Ooh.
I would like to go to Alaska someday.
Yeah.
But
Everyone raves about the Alaska cruises, from what I've heard.
I
never
have
been.
heard good things. My coworker went once. Yeah. So yeah, maybe one of those two places.
Nice. You could go during the time where it's like always dark, or probably not always dark. Maybe always light is better.
It'd be
I'll go
very
with the
cold
dark.
If she was always dark.
Yeah.
I'll go with the dark. I
It'd
like
be
the
like
dark.
negative
You like the
20
dark?
outside.
Maybe it's your heart. Are you, speaking of the dark, are you a morning person or a night person, night owl?
That's a good
If
transition.
by morning person you mean I have to drag myself out of bed every morning at the last possible minute,
So you are not a
I'm
morning
not a
person?
morning
So in other words,
I am a night owl. I get like a second wind at night. I am way more awake. So I feel like we should record one of these at night sometime. So I would talk more.
do a night episode.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because I talk a lot more when I'm tired and when it's late. Just saying.
Oh, interesting.
Just throwing that out there.
Interesting. So we need to start doing these podcasts about 11:30
Yeah.
p.m.
Yeah.
Okay.
Agreed.
That it's noted and disregarded. So
I'm sure our tech team would love that we disregarded that request.
yeah, you're welcome, guys. What about music? Let's go music. I think I like that question. What's your go-to music?
It's true. You are a big music person.
I am a big music
Yeah.
person. I don't really have a specific go-to. I listen to a lot of different genres. More recently, I've gotten into country. Like last May, I think it was. So I like that. But I've listened to Joseph O'Brien. I don't know if you guys have heard of him, but he's a Christian artist. So he's had a lot of really good music. So I've been into that recently. But
Nice.
kind of a little bit of everything.
Sweet.
All over the place.
All right, last one from me. Would you rather always have a runny nose or always have like watering eyes? Like you're just always crying.
Oh man, that's a tough one.
Right? That's tough.
I don't know. I might go with the watering eyes.
Really?
I'm a very emotional person and I cry a lot anyway.
So it wouldn't be much
it's
different.
not really much different.
That's great. Oh man. But
All right.
well, I'm tapped out.
Yeah, transitioning a little bit here. So more, I guess, more spiritual. What is your faith journey, I guess we could say, or how has your walk with Christ been, or where did that start? I guess let's start there.
So I grew up in, I'm sure it's the same as a lot of both of you guys. I grew up in a Christian household. My dad was raised Catholic, and I think he got saved right after high school, I think. But my mom grew up in a Christian household, so she was saved at a younger age.
Okay.
So like I grew up going to church. I think I was like 6 or 7 when I received Christ as my own and kind of understood the gospel a little more. So, but then just been in church my whole entire life. So got involved in the music ministry, I think when I was like 14-ish.
Wow.
So a lot
Doing
of
that longer than your job.
Yes. Yeah. So, but I don't think it really, I don't know. When I became an adult, that's when I really because I switched churches. I started going to a different church with my sister and just got kind of more involved. And especially coming here, which I didn't really have a community of like young adults, young Christian adults that I had a good support group with until I came to my current church now. So definitely in the last 2 years.
Would you say Overflow also helped contribute to
Yes, Overflow definitely helped.
It's a shameless plug.
Yeah, because I definitely, I'm not outgoing. I'm very introverted. I have a hard time making friends and talking to people. Just not great at it. So I felt like God was telling me, you need to go to this thing to meet some people.
Yeah, that's actually the first time you and my wife met.
Yes.
Was at the Overflow retreat 2 years ago now?
Yeah.
2022, right?
2022.
Yeah.
Yeah, October of 2022.
Yep.
And then, so really from then, not that I wasn't like a strong Christian before that, but I've just really deepened my relationship with Jesus since then.
Yeah.
Just being around like all people that have the same, we're all like-minded,
Right.
And like Bible study and all that.
Yeah, it's crazy how just like community helps propel you
absolutely.
down that.
Yeah.
And it's apparent in the Bible, like we're commanded to get plugged in, have a community.
Right. Super important.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
yeah.
So if there was maybe not one verse, we talked about this a little bit, but if maybe there's your favorite verse or an impactful verse that you'd like to share, kind of talk about a little bit.
So I have chosen Colossians 3, and it's really the 23rd verse, but I'm going to read a couple verses more than that. I'm going to read 22 to 24. So it says, "Bondservants, obey in everything those who are your earthly masters, not by way of eye service as people pleasers, but with sincerity of heart, fearing the Lord. Whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord and not for men, knowing that from the Lord you will receive the inheritance as your reward. You are serving the Lord Christ." So the reason I chose that verse is because I read a book when I was a kid, like maybe like 6 or 7. So it's a long time ago. And in the book, it was telling a story about this kid who his mother told him, like, never do anything that God would be ashamed of. And so he tries to get a job. And then the shopkeeper that he works for is testing him to see how honest he would be. Leaves like a gold dollar somewhere. But he always picked the pieces, and then he told the shop owner afterwards. And so the moral of the story was like, be honest and like do the best of your ability because you never know who's watching or who could have planted that there.
Right.
So every time I go to work or like even, I don't know, anything, coming to church or anything, I'm always thinking about that story and how, like it says in verse 23, whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord, not for men. Because sure, you want to do a good job for your boss because, you know, they pay you and whatnot. But it's not for your manager. Right. You're not doing it for the people you work with. You're doing it as an example to them, sure, but it's not for that purpose. You're doing it to glorify God.
Right.
So that just really always stuck with me.
Yeah. And I think that's so applicable, like you were saying, like people will notice if your integrity is showing and they will ask you why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I think this passage this chapter is so cool because it starts out at the beginning with like eternity in mind. And it says, you know, set your mind on things above. And then it just, it walks through and it's about the eternal mindset. And here in verse 24, it's the reasoning is just eternity, Christ focus the whole way through. Because it says, whatever you do, do it heartily for the Lord, not for men, knowing that from the Lord you will receive the inheritance as your reward.
Yeah.
You are serving the Lord Christ. And I think that's super helpful in whatever we do. It's like, all right, yes, I want to be looked at as a good worker and a good person, but in reality, this is all done for Christ. I'm doing everything for Christ, and my identity is wrapped up in Christ anyway. So even if I mess up, make a mistake, whatever, I still have my identity rooted in a gracious, loving Christ, rather than getting my fulfillment and my need for approval from my boss or whatever. I think that's, but it does drive you to a good work ethic, a good, whatever. I mean, it goes into a ton of different aspects, but yeah.
Totally.
Awesome. Well, I think that wraps it up for our get to know you of AA Ron. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks, Erin, for letting us into your life.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Anytime.
We will catch you on the next episode. Take care.
See you guys.